Hello again, and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is BGFH, and I am back for another Low Vision Spotlight video. Thought about actually doing a Let's Play for this, but the way the game kind of works, I started it, and it was kind of hard to commentate over, and I really didn't want to comment over it. But I figured I would at least get you guys' interest in this game. The game we're looking at right now came out just today as I'm recording this, and it's called That Dragon Cancer. This is a game that I had heard about last year at some point. I think it was right after the Kickstarter or something. This started out as a Kickstarter project, and I really can't remember when I heard about it. And then I saw something on Twitter yesterday just saying that, oh, by the way, yeah, this game is out tomorrow. And, the press, the gaming sites and stuff were raving about it and saying, wow, this game is, it's kind of dark, kind of grim in a lot of ways, but it's absolutely worth playing. I just finished it. It is about a 2-hour experience or so. Now, That Dragon Cancer, like I said, it started out as a Kickstarter game, and it's really an interesting project. It is made about a kid named Joel who was fighting cancer. He was diagnosed, I forget, it was like 18 months old, I think it was. And it's kind of it's their true, based on their true story. It's made by the guy who the father of Joel, and it just kind of goes through what the whole family was thinking, and just some kind of capturing some of both the good and bad moments leading up to. Unfortunately, Joel did not make it through all the cancer treatments, and he did die from it. So, yeah, like I said, it's not a cheerful game in a lot of ways, but there are points of it that are actually kind of, kind of cool, and they just capture some kind of innocent moments of the family just doing things and stuff like that. So, I'm gonna start it like it was a new game, but then I'm gonna play a little bit just so you can see a little bit of the family, and then I'm gonna jump to one of my favorite parts of the game. So, this game is pretty much all story. There's very little interaction. This is a kind of a first-person narrative game. In a lot of ways, even less so than things like Gone Home, because at least like Gone Home, you're actually walking around the environment, whereas this is pretty much like a point and click. Kind of like the old Myst games where you would click somewhere, the mouse would change shape, and then you could click, and it would kind of pan over to the new section. So, not that that's really a bad thing. This is, like I said, this is definitely an interactive story, which is, like I said, it's a really kind of an interesting game. Main menu here. Text is actually not too bad. Size of it isn't so bad. The contrast probably could be a little bit better, just kind of blending into some of the background and stuff. Visually, I didn't really have too much of a problem playing the game. There are there's a few sections where you can read things in the environment. Like there's one area where there's a whole bunch of just tons of cards. And most of them are actually pretty readable. But I mean, there's a ton of them. But, get well cards and stuff like that. But occasionally, I kind of had I wasn't sure what to click on, and it was just like, oh, okay, I didn't see the mouse because it kind of blended into a background or something. So there'd be a couple of points where I would at least not quite sure what to click on at first. So I am going to go to scene selection, And we are just going to start with the first chapter. Like I said, it's not a long game, but we'll just start from the beginning. I'll play in a little ways, just so you can kind of see. And this game is definitely, like I said, to all those people who are weird and say, "Oh, games are not art." Yeah, that's a bunch of crap. I mean, this is a perfect example of. It's really interesting because the father really wanted to do something different to remember Joel, not just, write something or like home movies, which are cool, but he wanted to do something different. So here we go.
Okay, guys, give some to Joel. Share with Joel.
I'm going to be quiet here
Yeah.
and just let this play. So we start out as this duck. Bread.
That's good, girl. Look, look, they got your bread.
Oh, don't touch the birds. No. Don't touch the birds. No, they're gross. Yuck. Okay.
Chomp.
Did you see that one almost bit him?
Huh?
No. Hold on. Hey. Careful. Here. Here's some.
So this is actual audio that they recorded, from like home movies or just audio recordings
Look, he's getting yours.
of the family, which is really kind of
Do you see
neat.
him eating it?
Alright, let's go chow down on some bread.
Caleb, do you want some?
This is a really interesting presentation. You have very stylized visuals. Nowhere near photorealistic. They're really, really stylized. But it works. But then you do have the actual, audio of them talking and different things, which is pretty cool.
Elijah, did he get it?
Yeah.
I'm just listening to their
Eat what?
dialogue there.
You want some more, Elijah?
Alright. We'll chomp this real quick. Hey, buddy.
Oh, guys, give Joel some bread.
Mom, he threw the whole piece.
Well, Isaac, you gotta give him little pieces. He doesn't understand. Here you go, Joel. Here's a piece. Okay, no, you throw it.
Joel's almost 5, right?
Yeah.
But he can't talk.
It's true.
Yeah.
No one can talk.
Yeah, I know.
Why can't Joel?
Well, Joel got sick right after he turned 1. And,
Kind of slowed him down a little bit, buddy.
yeah. So he's just slower than most kids. I think eventually he'll catch up.
You think Joel will leave?
Yeah, I think Joel will leave eventually.
Well, Isaac, of course. He's just delayed. Because,
Yeah.
Joel's supposed to be a boy. But he's a baby. He's a boy baby.
Yep, he's a boy baby. That's just about right. There's lots of things Joel isn't good at, but there's some things he is good at. What is he good at?
He's eating, laughing.
Yeah,
I'm good at making him laugh.
you are good at making him laugh. How do you make him laugh?
I fall down.
Yeah, it's really funny when you fall down.
He's good at showing us what he loves.
Yeah.
There's your first little intro. I just figured I'd completely shut up there.
What does Joel love? Wawa. In cups and bathtubs. And the warm, wet tongues and the cool fur of Das. And maybe the sweet mois of daily affection. And bye-byes. And blown kisses. And more. Oh, always more. This full list of words. So few words.
Okay, so now we are actually playing again. We can look around this area by the park or by the pond here, and we can kind of cruise around here, look at some different things. We can head this way. So, like I said, this is a really interesting game. I like that it kind of starts out on kind of a positive there, you know, just showing them feeding the ducks and, like, you know, just seeing kind of a family moment before things really start to kind of go bad, and or at least, you know, they're showing a really, you know, a good day. I kind of wish there was a little bit more of that. I mean, you know, they're really concentrating on, you know, of course, the cancer part of it and things like that. And I think for the most part, they hit it pretty well. There's a couple of really unique sequences in there that I'm not really going to spoil. I'll just say one while they're in a waiting room, and one in a... God, I think it's a few... I don't think it's all that far in, so I might show that part because it's kind of cool. But there are little sections where, like I said, they do branch out from just clicking a little bit, and it's just kind of neat, you know? And for so long, people have been talking about, you know, oh, can games do more than these, even just typical stories that, you know, that they have. You know, you have an action game or whatever, you're trying to save the world, it's a medieval thing, and there's magic and blah, 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 or... You know, there's crazy terrorists or some science fiction plot where you know, you have to save the world. You know, can games actually tell something other than like a typical action movie story? You know, you have your action games, your first-person shooters, third-person racing games, that kind of a thing. And then, you know, like I said, over the last few years, we've had things like Gone Home, Stanley Parable. Not just those, but I mean games that are actually trying to tell something other than like a save the world kind of thing. And I think there's a medium where it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna aimlessly kind of walk around, or on the other end, I'm gonna shoot something. Hold on.
No, but very soon.
Do you think they know? Can they sense it?
None of them know.
No one ever realizes how short the time is.
Okay. So what I was kind of saying was, like, you know, there's got to be, you know, and I'm interested. People are actually starting to experiment more, and I like that. You know, we've had a couple of games coming out now that have blind characters. I'd like to see other games with other disabled characters. You have games like this. You know, the Stanley Parable, and you know, that was kind of a humor game. Gone Home was kind of just a different kind of experience. And, you know, that Dragon Cancer is really trying to tackle some really kind of, you know, really darker, realistic issues. You know, of course, cancer, but there's also a lot of kind of, as you proceed through the game, you find there's a bit of religious context or whatever in the game too. So there's definitely that aspect of the game as well. I will... But, you know...
without a word for it. What is hope without a word for it? Who is God? What is joy?
Okay. But, yeah, I mean... like I said, I like to see games branching out a little bit. I like to see that. Now, I could go, let's see, yeah, I could go over there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to speed the video along a little bit. And so, like I said, it is worth panning around and looking to see where you can explore. So we're going to just move ahead. But yeah, I mean, I really like to see games trying to tackle different things. And, you know, to tell other types of stories besides, you know, your typical, really, you know, even the best game stories are usually not super good. You know, it definitely had its share of flaws, but, you know, even something like, I think that's actually a pretty good medium there. Life is Strange. That was a really cool game that came out last year. So let's head over to the picnic table here.
Who am I to him? Dada.
Okay, so now I can do a little bit more interacting. Hey, buddy.
Let's give Jill a kiss.
Give him a kiss.
Push.
Can you give Zoe a kiss? Zoe kisses.
You say hi, Zoe. Now give Jill a kiss.
Do it again. Big kiss.
Let's give Jill a
So
kiss.
we're just kind of clicking, have him swing a little
Give him a kiss.
bit, listening to the audio.
Can you give Zoe a kiss? Zoe kisses.
Alright, so I think we've kind of done all that. Yeah.
What do you think, Isaac?
Hey, buddy.
He's in a hospital, so they're taking care of him, and that's how he gets his food. His food goes through that too. Yeah. Yeah. You want to touch him? Yeah. Why don't you just pat his cheek, okay?
Are you ready?
Okay. Pat his cheek.
Set.
See? It's Jolie.
Go!
Yeah. You want to touch him, Caleb? No? Okay. You can just pat his head over here if you want. What do you think, Isaac?
Ready?
He's in a hospital, so they're taking care of him. And that's how he gets his food. His food goes through that too. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we got a little repeat there. So I said
wanna
you can
touch
kind of
him?
get an idea. You can see him in
Yeah.
different little
Why don't you just pat his cheek, okay?
areas of the park.
Okay.
Let's go over here. We can do the slide real quick. Oh, okay. So periodically you also will find, and a lot of times they'll make little noises so you know they're there. Like that.
Hey, babe, just got done at the doctor. Now they think that maybe he's throwing up all the time because he has acid reflux. So they gave me a medication and we can give it to Joel. And they said we have to give it at least 3 full days. But that if he's still throwing up after that, then we can come back. And I mentioned the head tilt thing again, even though they keep saying it's not related. But you always have to mention that one weird outlying thing. So I told them how his head was tilted to the right, but they still say that that's probably not related at all. So I guess we'll just give this a try. And I don't know, I'll tell you more about it when you get home.
Okay, so let's do the slide real quick.
Are you ready? Set. Go!
Whee! So, and then it kind of, you know, periodically it'll take control away from you a little bit to kind of have you do something or focus on something. Alright, we're at the top now. Wee. Okay. So let's go.
Set.
Let's see. How do we get out of here again?
Set. Go.
Okay, you slid down. I'm trying to get over there. Oh, it's gonna make me do this again. Sorry about that, guys. But like I said, I think it's a really interesting, like, you have the real audio, and then you have this really stylized,
Set.
real,
Go.
no. Okay, here we go. Now I can, so sometimes it's a little bit weird to kind of get it to quit focusing on something and go to something else. I'm going to finish this little area here really quick. We're going to go down here. And I want to see, just want to see if the next area is the one I'm thinking of. If it isn't, we're going to skip ahead and then wrap up the video. But this should at least kind of give you an idea to if you really want to see the story of that dragon cancer. Like I said, it starts out, you know, really nice, but like I said, it definitely goes in some kind of dark places, and especially, you know, I don't have a family. I don't have, you know, I'm not married. I don't even have a girlfriend right now. No kids, obviously. But especially people who have kids, or you know, maybe want to have kids, or just, you know, if you're interested in this kind of a story. But I know people, you know, I've seen people mention a little bit online when, you know, I try to stay away from any spoilers prior to playing. But you know, especially people who have kids, this could really potentially be really pretty rough. You know, it's one of those things.
Fear
you don't
is
want-
cancer's preservative, cancer's embalming oil. And you, O accuser, are fear's oil salesman. You're a snake, a serpent, a dragon with snuffed out coal on his breath, molting, and talons broken from the struggle to free yourself of your own skin.
Okay, there's your title card. And we're gonna end scene here now. Yeah, I think we might be another scene or two off, so I think we're gonna go back to the main menu, and I'll jump ahead to show you one part of the game. Again, it's gonna be a little minor spoiler. We're not gonna go into the really dark, you know, the really kind of sad territory. But you know, like I said, the scene is the game is broken up into a lot of these fairly short scenes that you know, just all these little scenes. Some are, you know, more realistic, or, you know, you're in this like these hospital rooms or whatever, and then you have the ones that are just, you get some really kind of abstract
Hey, do you want to rock?
stuff. You know, you get this abstract. Come on, there we go. Abstract scenes as well. Let's go back to the main menu. So, like I said, I would say 95% of the game is your kind of point and click, sort of what we did in that first chapter. But we're going to go to scene selection again. And I'll show you the one point where, like I said, this is a spoiler, so, you know, if you want to stop the video now, go ahead. You know, if you want to play the game for yourself. You know, there's going to be spoilers here a little bit. Here we go. So we got our chapters that we can choose from, because like I said, I have finished this game. And I'll start this right here. This is where they change up the game a little bit. And I like it. I love how they do it.
Hop in bed, boys. Let's go.
Boys, get in bed.
Oh, can you at least tell us a story?
Okay, so this chapter is them telling a little story to the kids before they go to bed. And I love how they kind of make it interactive. This is cool.
Sure.
A little arcade
Okay.
game.
This is the story of a very brave knight named Joel.
Joel the baby knight?
Yes, Joel the baby knight. But he's also Joel the very brave knight. And he was being chased by a dragon named Cancer.
There you go. That is where you... Because when I heard about the game, I'm like, that Dragon Cancer, I mean, it's a unique name. It's memorable. But I'm like, where do you come up with that? And there you go. That is how they came up with it. I think it's a really cool, fitting name. So now I can just use my left and right arrows. I can up is jump. Space, I can do little attacks. So it's a very, very, very primitive, just a little storybook platformer sort of thing.
Because of his tumor?
So we're going to keep moving.
Where does the dragon live?
In a forest.
I love how that stuff just like pops up as they think about it, and then you get the little dialogue popping in the middle of the screen. It's just a neat
Is
presentation.
the dragon big?
Very big.
Nice.
Does the dragon breathe fire?
So
Oh, and you got fried. But there's no real risk or anything. Duck. You just start right where you left off. Really? I ducked. That's dumb. Alright, let's go.
Joel has armor, like a sword and a shield and stuff.
Ooh, or maybe a spear?
Yeah. And now we get to kill stuff. Like big scorpions. There we go. Can I jump up there? Nope, just background.
yeah, that sounds good. So brave
Spikes.
Sir Joel with his sword and his shield and his awesome spear and his super jumping ability.
Alright,
was
now we can
being
jump.
chased
Yeah.
by a dragon named Cancer.
What other superpowers does he have?
He also has grace.
That's not a superpower.
It's the best superpower.
Do you guys know what grace means?
Yeah, it's kind of like help.
Yeah, it's kind of like help.
Okay, it should trigger. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Lift me over the enemy, and we'll go back and kill him. Alright, knight. Haha. There we go.
And he's not the only one who's ever tried to fight this dragon. Some very brave knights have fought this dragon and lost. And some are able to drive the dragon off. And they can go home and they can quit fighting for a while. And the kingdom is safe.
Joel's been fighting this dragon for a long time, huh?
A long time.
But Joel
And then down
found
again.
a nice empty cave where
Hey, buddy. Oh,
rest.
I'm just jumping around. Alright, so now he found a
And
cave where
it
he can...
seems like the dragon couldn't find him.
Good audio work.
But just when he thought that the danger was past, the dragon found his hiding spot and came after him in the cave.
Well, that dragon's going to kill Joel. Joel's going to lose.
Why do you say that?
Because Joel is just a baby. Babies can't kill dragons.
You're right. A baby can't kill a dragon. But that's the best part of this story.
At first, that can be a little hard to
God
see
fights
because.
for Joel.
Oh God.
He fights that dragon cancer right
Yeah.
with Joel. And we know that God can win, even if Joel can't.
See, that dragon
That's
blends in.
grace.
Sometimes he'll come to the left here. Ah, I was gonna jump up.
Well, what about Tim from Church Mom? He died from cancer. Wasn't God fighting for him? Didn't he have him?
Ah!
God fought
Ow!
Tim
Fire.
fought so well. He was so brave and so strong. God let him rest. It may have seemed like the dragon won because Tim
Up
died.
here, buddy.
We know that Tim's in heaven, that he's with God, and that God is so proud of him. So maybe for Tim getting to be done fighting the distance.
Ow. And I think it's meant to be unbeatable because we're going to see the end of this here in just a second. Kind of cool music, like I said. It really fits the kind of knight battling the dragon. Cool production value, I gotta say. I can kill it because I died with this guy too. There we go. I got hit again. Oh. And that was supposed to happen. And there you go. There's your little kind of night bedtime story. I think what I'll do is I'll play about the next 30 seconds or so to a minute. This isn't really going to make sense in context, but I'll just tell you a little bit here. Basically, you have kind of two different perspectives from the mother and the father. Like, the mother is really hopeful, you know, she's trying to hold on to any hope that you have. And then the father down here, you know, he feels like he's drowning. That's kind of the whole metaphor. Like, this is more, like I said, the abstract kind of thing here. So I'll leave it off. Like I said, we've been through some of the, you know, lighter parts, but I'll end with, you know, at least a little bit of dialogue between the mother and the father that actually talk. You know, there's a little bit more. So now I got to find out. Let's see, where am I supposed to? Here we go. There's where I'm supposed to click. There we go. So we'll get a little dialogue here, a little more serious stuff of what they're dealing with.
Ryan! Oh, Ryan, get in the boat.
I can't.
You have to, you'll drown.
We're already drowning. How can you sit there like that?
Despair doesn't help anything.
Neither does false hope. And I'm not despairing.
How can you say false hope? You're drowning.
Well, you're missing your oars. And you don't even know where you're going. And yet you're so sure you're gonna get there.
It's better than drowning.
Well, enjoy floating on the surface like you always do.
There's nothing deep about drowning. Just get in the boat.
You have to let me feel this! Someone has to.
That's not fair. I love him as much as you do. I just really believe we're going to be okay.
And he sinks. And now we explore more of this part of the chapter, but we are not going to do that. We are going to hit escape, and we are going to wrap up this video. So, yeah, you get a little bit of a taste there. Like I said, there are a few scenes in there that are, you know, like I said, especially, you know, I can't speak from personal experience, but like I said, especially if you, you know, if you have a kid, And it's one of those things that you think about, or like if you're well, it could be even a family member. If you have somebody, a loved one that is that is sick, could be a grandparent or a family member or a kid or whoever, and you see him going through some really rough stuff. This is kind of a game that tries to look at some of that stuff. And like I said, it's a short experience. I don't think I would want it any longer, really. Maybe another scene or so spread maybe later in the game where you kind of see some happier moments. Just to kind of break things up a little bit again. But I mean, really, you don't want a game to be much longer, or like this to be much longer than it is. But that is That Dragon Cancer. It is available on Steam right now. Full price is $15. And yes, it's a short game. No, there's really not any real replayability to it. Like I said, I don't think you'd want to play this game over and over again. It is pretty much mostly story, and like I said, the subject matter, you probably don't want to play it more than once. But like I said, I like that games are actually starting to experiment with these types of things, with different serious subject matter that isn't just save the world or typical video game tropes, or different media tropes like that. So, yeah, I mean, $15, you might think it's sort of high, but I mean, I went to the movies last weekend. I finally went to see Star Wars, and boy, movie tickets even during the day are not cheap anymore. So, you figure you pay $10-15 for a movie, and God knows how much concessions are these days. If you sit down for 2 hours and you play a, really kind of interesting story-based, interactive narrative like this game here, I don't really see that as much different, And at least this time when you pay the $15, you own it. If you want to have somebody else play it or show it to somebody, whatever, you can. So, yeah, that is That Dragon Cancer, available now. If this looked interesting to you, if you're into this kind of subject matter and just kind of want to see where they go with it, it is definitely a memorable experience. But yeah, available on Steam now. Hope you guys enjoyed it, found it interesting, and follow me on Twitter at BGFH79. And until next time, I will talk to you guys again later.